I walked into my own apartment, my name on the lease, my money paying the rent, and saw Johnny sitting at the head of my dining table, eating the steak I had bought yesterday, while Natasha was packing my clothes into garbage bags. I didn't yell. I didn't scream. I just stood in the doorway, dropping my keys on the counter with a heavy clank that made them both jump. "You're stifling my frequency, Ryan," Natasha said, not even looking me in the eye. She shoved my favorite hoodie, the one from my college track days, into a hefty bag like it was trash. "Johnny explained it to me. You're an energy anchor. You're keeping me in a scarcity mindset, and I can't ascend if I'm tethered to someone who operates on such a low vibration." I looked at Johnny. This guy, 35 years old, wearing sunglasses indoors, fake veneers that were too white for a human mouth, and a manifestation t-shirt that probably cost $300 but looked like it came from a dumpster. He smiled at me, chewing my ribeye. "It's nothing personal, brother," Johnny said, pointing his fork at me. "Some people are destined for the stratosphere, and some are just gravity. Natasha is ready to launch. You're holding on to the launch pad." "The launch pad?" I asked, my voice terrifyingly calm. "You mean this apartment? The one I pay for? The one where you're currently eating my dinner?" "Material possessions are an illusion," Johnny smirked. "But sure, if you want to get technical, Natasha needs this space for her creative flow. The mastermind group needs a headquarters. You don't fit the aesthetic." It took my brain about 5 seconds to process the sheer insanity of what was happening. My girlfriend of 3 years, the woman I was planning to propose to next month, was evicting me from my own life because a guy she met 3 weeks ago at a wealth activation seminar told her I was bad for her aura. "Natasha," I said, stepping past the bags, "put the clothes down. Johnny, get out now." "I see," Natasha snapped, finally looking at me. Her eyes were wide, manic, like she hadn't slept in days. "This is exactly what he meant. The aggression, the control. You're trying to block my abundance because you're jealous of my growth." "I'm jealous of your growth?" I laughed, a cold, dry sound. "Tasha, 3 weeks ago we were looking at houses. Now you're speaking in bumper sticker slogans and kicking me out because this con artist told you to?" Johnny stood up then. He wasn't big, maybe 5'9", but he carried himself with that unearned confidence of a man who hasn't been punched in the face enough times in his life. "Careful with your words, Ryan. Low-frequency insults reflect your own internal trauma. We're just asking you to leave peacefully so Natasha can step into her power." I looked at the garbage bags. I looked at Natasha, who was trembling, not with fear, but with some weird fanatical adrenaline. "I'm not leaving," I said. "Then we'll make you," Natasha said. And that's when she dropped the bomb. "I changed the locks an hour ago. Johnny called a locksmith. This is our sanctuary now. The police won't help you. It's a civil matter. Johnny knows the laws." My blood ran cold. Not because I was scared of them, but because I realized the person standing in front of me wasn't Natasha anymore. It was a shell, a hollowed-out version of the woman I loved, filled up with Johnny's toxic sludge. I didn't fight. I didn't beg. I grabbed my laptop bag, looked at the steak halfway eaten on the plate, and nodded. "Okay," I said. "If that's how you want to play it." I turned around and walked out. I heard Johnny laugh behind me. "See, babe, the universe clears the path when you demand it." They thought they had won. They thought I was walking away defeated. What they didn't know was that I wasn't leaving to cry in my car. I was a forensic accountant for high-end corporate litigation. Destructing false narratives and finding hidden dirt wasn't just my job. It was my art form. And Johnny? He just made himself my new project. I checked into a hotel down the street, sat on the edge of the bed, and opened my banking app. My hands were shaking, not from sadness, but from pure rage. I expected it, but seeing it still felt like a punch to the gut. The joint savings account, the house fund we had been building for 2 years. Balance, $0. Transfer, history $50,500 wired to Ascendancy LLC yesterday at 4:15 p.m. $52,000. That was my overtime. That was my bonuses. That was the money for our future kids, gone in a single transaction. I sat there for a long time, staring at the screen. I remembered the Natasha from 6 months ago. She was a landscape architect, brilliant, grounded, funny. She loved hiking and hated pretentiousness. Then her firm did a round of layoffs. She didn't lose her job, but the stress got to her. She started feeling lost. That's when she found Johnny's podcast, The Quantum CEO. At first I thought it was harmless. Motivation, positive thinking, sure, whatever helps. But then the headphones never came off. Then came the seminars, $500 a ticket. Then the inner circle coaching calls, $2,000 a month. I tried to talk to her about it. I tried to use logic. Tasha, why does a billionaire mentor need your $2,000? I'd ask. It's an energy exchange, Ryan. You have to invest to signal to the universe you're ready to receive. I didn't realize the signal she was sending was, I am an easy mark. Please rob me. I closed the banking app and opened my laptop. It was 8 p.m. on a Tuesday. I had a Red Bull and a vendetta. I started with Ascendancy LLC, registered in Delaware 3 months ago. Registered agent, a generic legal service. Dead end. So I went for Johnny, or rather, Johnny Quantum. Real name? Let's find out. I ran a reverse image search on his profile picture from his website, the one where he's leaning on a red Ferrari holding a cigar. The car was a rental. The photo was tagged by a rental agency in Miami 3 years ago. But the face match brought up something interesting. A mugshot from 2018 in Arizona. Name, Jonathan Miller. Charges, wire fraud. Running a Ponzi scheme involving organic crypto farming and selling fake timeshares. Gotcha, I whispered to the empty hotel room, but knowing he was a crook wasn't enough. Natasha was brainwashed. If I ran to her right now with a mugshot, she'd say the system was trying to silence him. She'd say it was part of his hero's journey. I needed to dismantle him completely. I needed to scorch the earth so thoroughly that nothing could grow back. I spent the next 3 days working remotely from the hotel. I didn't call Natasha. I didn't answer her texts, which had switched from, you're toxic, to, I hope you're healing, to, we need to discuss when you're picking up the rest of your boxes. I was busy. I tracked down the other mentors listed on Johnny's site. 2 were stock photos. One was a guy named Sven, who was actually a struggling actor in LA hired for video testimonials. I found a forum thread from 2 years ago about a guy named Johnny M, who ran a dropshipping university scam. The victims were single moms, veterans, desperate people looking for a lifeline. He had drained them dry and vanished. Then I looked at my own lease agreement. I called my landlord, Mr. Henderson. Old school guy. Loved me because I fixed the plumbing myself, so he didn't have to call a guy. Mr. Henderson, I have a situation. I have an unauthorized tenant conducting a commercial business out of my unit, and they've changed the locks without your permission. Mr. Henderson didn't like that. He didn't like that at all. But the cherry on top came on Friday. I was digging through the metadata of Johnny's investment portfolio, screenshots he posted on Instagram to lure people in. He claimed to make $100K a month trading. The screenshots were edited, badly. But in one uncropped version he posted on Twitter, I saw a reflection in the monitor, a reflection of a hotel room number and a distinctive lamp. I recognized the lamp. It was the Motel 6 off the interstate. Johnny wasn't rich. He was homeless. He was couch surfing from victim to victim. Natasha wasn't his star student. She was just his latest roof. I printed everything. The dossier was thick. It was beautiful. It was time to go home. I showed up on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. I didn't come alone. I had Mr. Henderson with me. I also had a deputy sheriff because stealing $52,000 constitutes grand larceny, and I had filed the police report the morning I saw the transfer. I used my key. It didn't work, obviously. Mr. Henderson used the master key. It didn't work. They drilled the core, Mr. Henderson grunted, his face turning purple. That's a violation of Section 4. I knocked hard. Natasha, open the door. Silence. Then Johnny's voice muffled. Go away, Ryan. We're in a deep work session. You're trespassing on private vibrational frequency. I'm trespassing on a lease with my name on it, Johnny, I yelled back. Open the door or the sheriff kicks it in. The lock clicked. The door swung open. The smell hit me first. Sage, stale takeout, sweat. The apartment, my meticulously clean, minimalist apartment, was a wreck. Whiteboards were everywhere, covered in nonsense diagrams with words like vortex and quantum revenue written in red marker. There were empty pizza boxes, wine bottles, and clothes scattered everywhere. Natasha was standing in the living room, wearing pajamas, looking exhausted. Johnny was behind her, wearing my silk bathrobe. Officer, this man is harassing us, Johnny said, trying to look authoritative in a bathrobe that was 2 sizes too big for him. This is a civil dispute. He moved out. The deputy stepped forward. He was a big guy, no nonsense. Are you Jonathan Miller? Johnny's face dropped. The Quantum CEO mask slipped for a second, revealing the scared grifter underneath. My spiritual name is Johnny Quantum. Yeah, well, Jonathan Miller. I have a warrant for your arrest regarding an outstanding fraud charge in Arizona, and a fresh inquiry for grand larceny regarding a transfer of $52,000 from Mr. Ryan's account." Natasha let out a small shriek. "What? No, that money was an investment. Ryan signed off on it, spiritually." I looked at Natasha. She looked ragged. In just 4 days, she looked 10 years older. "I didn't sign off on anything, Tasha. You forged my consent on the wire transfer. I saw the digital signature logs. You used my iPad password." "It's for our future," she screamed, tears streaming down her face. "Johnny is going to triple it in a week. We're buying an island, Ryan. Why can't you see the vision?" "There is no island, Tasha." I stepped into the room, kicking a pizza box aside. I threw the dossier on the table. Photos of Johnny's mugshot fanned out. The Motel 6 photos, the forum posts from the victims. He's not a guru. He's a homeless con man who steals from women he finds on LinkedIn. He doesn't have a portfolio. He has a gambling debt and a warrant. Natasha stared at the mugshot. She looked at Johnny. Johnny was already backing up toward the balcony door. "These are deep fakes," Johnny stammered, sweat beading on his forehead. "The Matrix creates evidence to stop the chosen ones. Natasha, baby, don't look at the 3D lies. Look at my soul." "Your soul owes me 50 grand, I said. The deputy cuffed him. Johnny started screaming about his constitutional rights and sovereign citizenship. It was pathetic. As they dragged him out, he looked at Natasha one last time. "Babe, bail me out. Use the credit card. It's just a test from the universe." And then he was gone. The silence in the apartment was heavy. Mr. Henderson looked around, disgusted. "Ryan, I like you, but this..." He gestured to the writing on the walls, actual permanent marker on the paint. "You're losing your deposit. Get this place fixed or you're out too." He left. It was just me and Natasha. She was trembling, holding one of the mugshot printouts. He said he managed hedge funds," she whispered. Her voice was broken. The manic energy was gone, replaced by a horrifying realization. "He managed a shift manager position at Taco Bell in 2016, I said coldly. I checked his employment history too. She looked up at me, her eyes filling with tears. The Natasha I knew was trying to claw her way back to the surface. "Ryan, He made it sound so real. He said I was special. He said I had power." She took a step toward me. "I'm so sorry. My God, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean... I just wanted us to be free. We can fix this, right? We can call the bank." I looked at her. I looked at the mess. I looked at the permanent marker on the walls. I felt nothing. The anger was gone. The love was gone. It was just exhaustion. "The bank is already investigating," I said. "But since you authorized the transfer with my credentials, it's technically wire fraud on your part too, Tasha. I told the police I wouldn't press charges against you if the money is returned, but Johnny spent a chunk of it already." "I'll pay it back," she sobbed, reaching for my hand. I pulled away. "I'll work. I'll do anything. Ryan, please, I love you. I was lost." "You kicked me out," I said. My voice was quiet. "You let another man wear my clothes. You let him eat my food. You called me toxic for wanting to keep the money we saved for our children." "I was brainwashed," she pleaded. "It wasn't me." "Maybe," I said. "But the person who did that, she's still in there somewhere, and I can't sleep next to her anymore." I walked over to the door and held it open. "You need to go, Natasha." She froze. "What? Go where? I gave up my apartment when I moved in here. Go to your parents. Go to a hotel. Go manifest a penthouse. I don't care. But you're not staying here." "Ryan, please. It's been a week. You can't throw 3 years away over a mistake." "A mistake is forgetting to buy milk," I said, my voice hardening. "Stealing my life savings and replacing me with a felon in 48 hours isn't a mistake. It's a choice." She cried for an hour. She begged. She screamed. She threw the "you're toxic" line at me one last time when she realized begging wouldn't work. Eventually, she packed a bag, the same bag she had tried to force me to take, and left. That was 6 months ago. The legal fallout was messy. Johnny is in prison, not for my money, but for violating parole in Arizona. Turns out I was the tip that brought the whole house of cards down. I got about $30,000 back. The rest is gone spent on marketing materials, bottle service, and rental cars. Natasha's on a payment plan to pay me back the rest, court-ordered, $500 a month for the next few years. Every check I get from her is a reminder of why I'm single. I didn't start dating immediately. I fixed the apartment. I painted over the crazy marker scribbles. I worked. I got a promotion because apparently rage makes me very productive at uncovering corporate inefficiencies. Natasha tried to reach out a few times, long emails about her healing journey and how she's deconstructing her trauma. I deleted them without reading. I heard from a mutual friend she's dating a crypto visionary now, someone who promises 1,000% returns in a week. Some people don't want to be saved. They want to be sold a dream, even if the price is their reality. Last Tuesday, I came home to my quiet, clean apartment. I made a steak. I sat at my table. I ate it alone, and let me tell you, peace tastes a hell of a lot better than drama. Sometimes the trash takes itself out, but sometimes you have to bag it up and put it on the curb yourself to make sure it doesn't come back inside. What would you have done? Would you have taken her back? Let me know in the comments.